This is teacher Chrissy, and today is the second part of your test review. Okay, now I will show you the coverage for our test for the finals. For grade 8 and fast track, we talked about countries and nationalities in the first part of the review. We also talked about possessive adjectives, and then we also talked about the plurals and the articles. Okay, now on the second part of the review, we are going to talk about present simple tense and then past simple tense. Okay, so let's talk about the present simple first. Now, in your book for the present simple, it's actually on page, um, let me see, what page is this? Okay, it's on page 18, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, page 18 of your book. It says present simple, positive, and negative. Okay, so we are going to talk about the rules for this tense. We are going to check page 124. So let's go to page 124. You can look at the screen, you can look at the video, or you can also check on your book, whichever you're comfortable with. Okay, but in my opinion, okay, it will be best if you take note of the pages and the topics that I'm discussing, and then after watching the video you can go ahead and do a self review. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. That's the best thing. So we have here present simple for all verbs. So we have the positives and the negatives. Okay, so for the positive, all you have to do is to use the base form of the verb. For example, work and works. Okay, work is used if the subject is plural, with an exception of I and you. And then works is used if the subject is singular. Okay, remember, I and you, they are singular, but they are an exception to the rule. So always use the base form without s if the subject is I and you. Okay, and then for the negative, a negative form of present simple, it's very easy. All you have to do is to use don't or doesn't. Okay, so let's read some examples here. We have I work, you work, he, she, it works. We work, you work, they work. And then for the negative, all you have to do is to add don't or doesn't before the verb. So I don't work, you don't work, he, she, it doesn't work, we don't work, you don't work, and they don't work. Okay? So when we say base form of verbs, for example, eat, eats. Okay? Walk, walks. Sing, sings. Those are base form of verbs. Okay? So those are some of the examples. So please make sure that you review this part, present simple for all verbs. Okay? And then the second part that we are going to review, let me just mark this as done. Okay? And then the second part of our review is past simple with the use of was and were. Okay, so let's see if we have here past simple. Okay, let me see. Okay, so past simple of be verbs. So be verbs, a while ago we talked about base form of verbs. Now we have be verbs. So be verbs are was and were for the past tense. But be verbs for present, we use is and are. Okay, so this is also very easy for past simple of be verbs. All you have to do is to add was and were. Was is for plural, were is for was is for singular, were is for plural. Of course, with an exception of I and you. Okay, so I was, you were, he, she, it was, we, you, and they were. Okay, and then for the negative, all you have to do is to add not or nt, wasn't, and weren't. Okay, for example, I was famous. You were famous. He, she, it was famous. You were, they were famous. Okay, and then for the negative, we use wasn't for singular and weren't for plural. Okay, so this is very easy. I will include this in the test, the simple present and the simple past tense. Okay, so that's done. This is not going to be a big part of the test, but I want you to study this as well. The next thing that we are going to review are adjectives. Okay, so we have here the review part for the adjectives. You can also check your book. It's actually on page 126, adjectives. When we say adjectives, these are describing words. Okay, for example, in this example, it's a big house. If you want to describe the house, the size of the house, we use the adjective big. Okay, now the adjective used in the second example to describe flowers is pretty. They are pretty flowers, or they're pretty flowers. Okay, so those are the reviews that I want you to do for this week. We please review on past simple, present simple, and adjectives. Okay, now I'll send you another video for the third part of the review, and we are going to talk about adverbs of frequency, prepositions of time, and object pronouns. I'm sorry. I'll divide it into two. The third part will be adverbs of frequency and prepositions of time, and then the last part of the review will be object pronouns, possessive and subject pronouns. Okay, that will be the last part since those are the most recent topics that we talked about. So that's it for this week. I'll send you another video next week and I'll see you there. Bye.